Do you hear strange things in the night? Do you hear things go pop? Well, you've hit the Popper's Pit, where we're going to be upgrading this Spirit Halloween Proton Pack from the Ghostbusters. I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Whoa!
If you want to know what pops to get, then pop on down to the Poppers Pit. Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when you pop on by to the Poppers Pit.
What's poppin', Poppers? Welcome back to the Poppers Pit for a very special edition Poppers Pit. Now today, I'll probably throw in a pop review at the end. I did get my Dwight in the mail today. But today I'm preparing for Halloween. It's a little bit over a week away as of the recording of this episode. And about 5 years ago, for the 30th anniversary of Ghostbusters, I bought myself a Ghostbusters suit, the jumpsuit. And I've decided that since it's 35 years since Ghostbusters and 30 years since Ghostbusters 2, for Halloween, I'm going to go as a Ghostbuster again. I only wore it once for one Halloween party. I haven't really worn it out since. When I first had it, I did not have a Proton Pack. But now, from Spirit Halloween, I bought this last year, and it is a really, really good replica of the Proton Pack. Mattel, back in like 2012, 2011, I know definitely 2012, because I was supposed to buy the PKE meter that Mattel had on sale, and Hurricane Sandy happened. It was only $50, and then by the time that we didn't have electricity for a while, and they were all sold out, and I just never have been able to get them. They never sold the Proton Pack itself. They did have a special edition wand where it's actually pretty cool. This part pokes out and it moves and it lights up. There's some people I've seen on YouTube where they've adapted this Proton Pack where it fits with the Mattel wand. But I'm gonna turn this on now. It's a very good replica. In the back, it's molded plastic. This back is foam. There's cardboard underneath it. It's not sturdy cardboard, but it still does the job. There's a battery pack. It runs on 3 AAA batteries or 3 AA. I do not remember, to be honest with you. I'm not very good with electronics and wiring and things. I always thought it would be a good idea to convert this into where you can have a rechargeable battery. That way you don't have to keep getting out here. But, you know, there's time. Eventually it's going to be the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters, and maybe by that time I might learn how to do a little fun stuff. If you know a little bit about it and want to shoot me a message, go ahead. And while you're shooting a message or leaving a comment, you can hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Right here is the battery pack. So I'm going to turn it on. And with this, I've seen other people adapt it. There is an on-off button right here. And it just does that, and it doesn't stay on until, while this is off. There's upgrades that I plan on doing where it cycles these red lights here. It has a constant going that runs on a separate battery source than the main battery source with the videos I've been watching and research I've done. I want to repaint this. There's a lot actually to do. You change the cable here. You put it's a copper rod that you just put here. You put a screw here. There's a couple of wires that you do. There's a couple of changes here. I eventually would like to learn to. There's like a little toggle switch that is in. Whoa, hey. Let's turn off this. That's in the movie. Oh, shooting text. That's in the movie that I'd like to have this be. It's about 80% of what the real Proton Pack that they used in the movies are. But I think I paid $50 for it last year. You probably could get it cheaper at the end of the season when Halloween's over. But, you know, $50 is not a bad deal. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is the rainbow cable. They sell kits online that adapt it. One of the main things that I wanted to do before I actually started to wear this out is that the blaster, I'll call it. It's the neutrino wand. It was what it's really called, but we'll just call it the blaster for safety and simpleness. Just stays in here by this little peg, and it's kind of like the Playmobiles, where it just stays in there. But what I did was online they sell a V-hook kit, which, let me put this down here. It's one of these things. See, and what this does is it attaches to here, and instead of having to reach back and pull it out like this, and then pulling it out's not the problem. It's putting it back in that's the problem. Especially if you're wearing this on your back, it's a little bit of an issue. So I bought one of these, and it comes with 2 adapters that you have to put on it. I ordered it from Les Paul PS2 on eBay, and they're part of the KLS Ghostbusters, the Ghost Core. I'll put down below the information if you want to check them out. If you have one of these, you can put them on here. So what I'm planning on doing today is 2 things. 2 things. One is I want to attach this, and then I want to attach the Proton Pack itself to an A-frame, or an Alice pack as they call it. This is what they used in the movies. I bought this from a surplus store on Amazon. You put it on, and in the movies this is what they used, and it attached to it. As you can see, it has the more screen accurate olive drab colored straps for the backpack. I got this. If you look on the Ghostbusters, this is like just a bumper that they have, that way they don't hit their head. And we're going to attach that too. It's really a foam noodle. You can get it in the installation section at Home Depot. It's less than $2 for it. Got some tape. What you really need for today is need some crazy glue or super glue or whatever it's called. Crazy glue is the name brand, kind of like, do you have a Kleenex? Kleenex is the name brand, but it's really just facial tissue. You need a wire cutters later. I have a small screwdriver and zip ties, and that's about it. I used Sting, my knife that I open up the boxes with, to cut the noodle in half. I have the second piece over here. So, all right, let's get working. This is my first time recording working, so we'll see what we have it. As you notice, the display is a little bit differently. I'm actually using a Rubbermaid bin on top of an amp as my workspace here. Some people probably have a little bit better. I put some of my pops back here because what's the Popper's Pit without some pops? And let's go. Let's do this, and let me know what you think. And if you like Ghostbusters 1 or 2 better. Alright, you gotta hitch up your pants, air whittle, and get bustin'. Let's see, who do we got? And I just hit 8,000 steps. I've been walking around a lot today. Okay, I'm gonna probably super edit it so this is alright. Maybe I'll do a fast motion thing, I don't know. Okay, so step 1. Let's start with the Proton wand. Now I'm gonna switch back and forth. Here you can see what I'm looking at. Let's start with this part because it's the easier part. I find because I have to put some super glue or adhesive on it to keep it stay. So while I'm doing this, I have to unscrew this part right here, and doing that, if I do this first, I'll let it dry. So okay, so I need this part to go facing this part like this. Okay, and you want to make sure everything is lined up. And I'm just going to do a test run first. And what I'm going to do is I am going to use, there's some screw holes that I'm going to use to help guide me if the holes are, if this part's straight or not. Okay, let me just double check my thing here. So I'll move a little to the side. Okay, so that looks backwards. No, that's right. Okay, here we go. Just want to check this out first before I put on the thing. And this part, the part that attaches to the wand, is the V-hook itself. So what happens is this part is going to face away from this part. So it's going to go on like this. Yes, like this. Because, yeah, okay. So this is facing, let's change this to show it the same way as the picture here. Oop, didn't want to do that. Scroll through. All right. So we have, looking at it the same as the picture. All right, I think we're good to go. Because what this does is go that way and here. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is take this back off and use the super glue. Now, I'm probably going to be buying a second Proton Pack if I can by the end of Halloween. Well, hopefully it's on sale, because just in case while I'm doing my upgrades something messes up, I can always just do another one just in case they stop making them. So, all right. So, and you have to be careful when you use super glue, because you can always glue your fingers together, which I have done countless times in my life. Actually, twice on the first day of separate jobs, I crazy glued my fingers together. How that happened, I don't know. They used to say to use acetone, the nail polish remover. I also find Windex works well. So, you know, Windex does everything. All right. Now we're going to go up here. And this one I got Loctite. I didn't get super glue. Well, it's super glue, but gel control. I felt that this one's a little bit better. So I'm going to just pull up my reference guide again. Let's do this on here itself. We'll do most of it here. We're not going to put too much. I just want a little bit, because it fits in with the peg that they have here. I just want to give a little bit. That way that I can make sure that it's right. All right. Well, here goes nothing. Okay. And we are on. Let's make sure that it's straight. Got to move a little quickly here. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay, let's see. What do you think? Looks about right. I'll probably just end up putting the picture on here. Okay. Okay, so now we're having this dry up a bit. Off to the next step is they included 2 screws, but what I'm also going to do is I'm going to crazy glue it back on there as well, because screws don't go in all the way. So, all right. Okay, a little nervous. Just step 1 looks like it went all right. Just want to double check that. Oh, move this a little bit more. Oh, okay. Didn't think about that. You just have to be careful when you do your crazy glue, because there's a little bit of an overhang with here. Can't really, there we go. So you want to try to get it where it's here. It looks like I got this on pretty straight. All right. So let's go here, and then we'll take a small break. Okay, so here. Gonna glue again. But I'm gonna do it close to the screws, because that way I know where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Whoop. Got the hole. Okay. Okay, so this faces away. So what we want to do is we'll put the screws in first, so we know that the holes are lined up. Probably should have gotten some toothpicks, but this looks like that these are sticking out at the bottom, so I can at least line it up with the hole. Let's get the light here. Oh no! Okay, I can see the hole at least. Okay. You just grab a second screw from here. There's 4 screws in total, but I'm just doing this to be able to get this here. I guess if I mess up, I can always just get some acetate and break this down again and redo it. But looks like I did it all right. First shot. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna get a bigger no, this one's working well. I was gonna get a bigger screw, but I'm just screwing these into the side here, making them flush. Okay. Alright, so this part is on and flush and connected. Here we go. So that's on. It's part 1. Looks pretty good to me. It doesn't add much extra weight, so I'm happy about that. It's 3D printed. Probably could have done this myself had I a 3D printer, but I do not. I'm going to wait till they get a little cheaper. There's a lot of things I'd like to do with the 3D printer, I tell you that. I have a whole Green Lantern logo idea that with my rings that I have with my Green Lantern collection. Same thing with Batman. Trust me, I'd buy a lot of filament if I had a 3D printer, because I got some ideas. It's just the computer part that I'm not 100% about right now, because I just need a little bit of time. But while I'm doing that, we're going to set this off to the side to dry, and we're going to get to the second part. Remove this, my wrestling tights. I do not want super glue on them. Okay, so here we are. There are 4 screws that need to be removed, and just keep these to the side because you're going to need them again. Okay, so 1. I always find that if I'm not doing it right now, always keep your screws in a place where it's easy for you to remember them. One hack is if you get an ice cube tray, and you could just keep all the screws where they're supposed to be. I once had to buy my brother a new iPhone because the YouTube videos of how to change an iPhone screen looked a lot easier than doing it itself. I mean, I got to the part where you take off the screen, no problem. It was just putting it back together that was the problem. So, sorry about that. But at least you got a new phone out of it, and you had everything saved on the cloud. So, It's a win-win-win in my opinion. Alright, so let's take this second part. Let's just try this out. I don't think there's any specific way it needs to go. This has grooves in it that match these grooves here, and they just fit flush, it looks. So I don't know if it snaps in. I'll give it a... I don't want to go too hard on it because I don't want to break it, but it looks like it just fits in there. So what I am going to do is take some of this, put this on here. Okay, not too much because this one's going to get screwed in. And then I'm going to just do this here. And I'm going to just put a little bit on here just to keep it in place. So here goes a nothing. Okay. Make sure that doesn't leak out. Oh, this popped up a little bit. Popped up a little bit there too. I guess it does need to be screwed in. Okay. Okay, so this is here. Let's take the first screw. That didn't work. Sometimes if you hit a screwdriver on metal, it'll magnetize it a little bit more. That's what I just tried doing, but it didn't work. So let's go back to screwing this one in. Probably should have had a little bit more light than just my ring light here. But, you know what? We make do with life, right? When life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. So this screws all the way back into the bottom. And its original screw hole. I just find this fascinating how this works. The printers and whatnot. Where you have a design, you put it in a computer, and it just prints out. You know, it's fantastic. Okay, second one. Two more. There we go. Probably should have did it in cross, like this one, then that one, that one. Same way that you tighten a wrestling ring. That way that it doesn't put too much pressure on one side, doesn't pull it to the one side first and takes it away. Okay. And I probably shouldn't be tightening the screws all the way first, but I have a good feeling about this. Okay. So we are on to step 2 of this, step 4 of the whole process. Okay. All right. That one looks pretty good on there. I don't know if you can see it very well here, but this is connected. All right, so now we are going to the final step, which is I'm a little nervous about. Let's check this picture. There's little divots in here. Like there's a flat side and then a raised side. We want the raised side up. So we want this to be where there's a space in between here. You don't want it flat up against here like this. You don't want that. You want it up a little bit, that way that it catches onto the thing. So let us take these 2 screws, put these in here, learn from our mistakes as humans, because that's what we do. All right. If I put this in a little bit more, I'll be able to catch the hole a little bit better. On to 2. All right. So what do you think so far? Put down in the comments. What do you think of this upgrade to the Proton Packs? Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put it around the holes again, because that way that I know that it goes there. Alright, so let's just double check again which way it goes. You want the big piece to the bottom of the pack. And it's not going to be straight up and down. It's tilted that way that it gives a little bit of range. I'm looking to see if I have my bigger screwdriver here, but I don't know what I did with that right now. So let's just screw this in. You don't really want electric tools a lot of the times when you do things like this, because sometimes they go too quickly and it can crack, especially when you're working with plastic. Plastic, wood, metal's okay. Depends on what type of metal you have, but for the most part, you want to go easy. And let's test this out. Okay, do this. Okay, it looks like I still have a little bit more to screw in, so good thing I checked. But what I did was I just looked here and I saw that there was a little bit of a raised area. So this is where that bigger screwdriver may have come in handy. Okay. Well, it seems like it's on there pretty well. So the glue really didn't do much. This one's being held on by the screws. Okay. But it feels solid here. So let us detangle this. This has been in the box for about a year. So the hose just needs a little bit of time to stretch out a little bit. And let's see what we got. Look at that. Okay, let's put this on. Might not be 100% because of the thing on off. And to put this back on, that's a little bit better if I can see what I'm doing. I'll get used to it. It's just it's really just getting used to it, I feel. So look at that. It looks a lot better than it did before. It sticks out a little bit like in the movies. I just noticed on the box for the Proton Pack that they have the wand sticking up, which is incorrect. But it's alright. It's cool. Okay. Good. Okay, so it'll be up a little bit higher and a little bit tighter, because right now I have these it's the ribbons, and I'm really just doing this. It looks nice. It probably just needs to be up a little higher, and the hose is also needs a little changing, but we'll get it. We'll get it. Alright, so I took a small break, and during that break I got a better screwdriver, which is somewhere around here. I put it over here, and I was able to tighten this up a lot more, so now it slides on a lot better. Not a little bit, a lot better. And it's where it's supposed to be. There's no space in between. It works out the way it needs to. So let's get on to the step 2, which is attaching this to this, the A-frame. Now, what I'm planning on doing, I saw some people, I kind of wish there was a way I could take this off and make things a little easier. One person that I saw, what he did was he cut these off and used this to tie on to here, and then drilled some holes up here. But what I think I'm going to, and then kept down here, because the these down here, the hooks, we'll call them, are very sturdy, and I'm going to agree with him on that. I might be able to hook. So I'll give a test run. What I'm planning on doing, though, is I'm not going to drill any holes. I'm not going to make any huge differences and changes, I'm going to use these, I think they're vinyl, the things, these latches, and you pull on them, and the zip ties, that's what they're called. So I'm gonna, I see here is a, see if I can get this overhead one. There's a little piece of metal where this is hooked onto. So what I want to do is just do it just like this and bring this around, and I'll zip it to here and then do the same on the bottoms. There's a metal piece that's, this is hooked onto, and then what I'm going to do is I'll make this as tight as I can and use some zip ties to zip these together, maybe to the thing, because I don't really want to cut these off. I just don't, I don't want to. Eventually what I want to do is I want to add electronics. I want to paint this, so this is all going to come off. I'll put a little bit stronger foam than just cardboard here. I mean, the foam's all right. I want to, as I said, this thing's the battery. I like to be able to make it where I can put like a one of those hard external batteries in the power source, the power packs. That way that I can just charge it by putting a mini USB or something in here. I'm gonna have to open this up to put the electronics in for the lights. I'm gonna have to take apart this whole thing, take off the stickers. They sell more screen accurate stickers. These are all right, but if I want to paint, I'm gonna have to mask a whole bunch of things. I kind of want to have that weathered look too eventually. Here are speakers. What some people do have been taking Bondo and filling this in. You put a whole bunch on it, layer it, let it dry, and then you sand it down, and then paint the whole thing. There's a lot to do, but if you want to have that really good looking Proton Pack without spending thousands of dollars to have a custom made one, or I think Entertainment Earth has Egon Spengler's Proton Pack coming out eventually. That's like almost 2,000, I think. I don't have that to spend, unfortunately, not yet. But even with that, this is fine. It's a project to do. You know, it's something. It's material for the show. That's always good, even though that pops are good too. But you know, this is fun also. Let's see what we have here. That's just some glue. Yeah, it looks like that blue thing is just like something over there. Let me turn this back on. I want to just test this out. And turn this on over here with the button. Buttons. Who's got the buttons? Yeah, it's just a blue light. If you watch the movie, it has, like, this just keeps rising. And this cycles all the time. It's something to learn to do. I have a couple of projects I'd like to do my Green Lantern rings, like wire those up to the colors, and just a little bit of learning, but life is about never stopping to learn. So let's start this. I go overhead, and what I want to do first is make these as tight as I can by doing this. And what this will enable me to do is not have these hang out as much on the sides. Okay. That side one's good. And side two is here. Alright. This is going too well, but I think we should be okay. Okay. So now we have this up. Let me just show you what I did here. I made these straps so tight that all these are all the way up here. I mean, they'd probably fit like a small child's arms. They're not going to fit me and the fat guy and a little coat. I couldn't get in here. So, alright, so let's, first thing to always do plan things out before you. They sell brackets that can attach to here. I might get those eventually. I just, as I said, I'm slowly going to integrate into this. Just in case they come out with a really good Proton Pack that I don't need to modify as much, then I'm not going to put too much money into it. So, and this isn't going to be super screen accurate right now. Eventually, I would like to. It's never going to be 100% screen accurate because, as I said, this is about 80% the size. It's close, but no cigar, but definitely a lot better than the inflatable ones. I was going to say a lot better than the little Kenner ones, the blue ones, but you can't beat those. That's my childhood right there. And I can't say anything bad about them either. Okay. Oh, there we go. Always be careful of your packs. Yeah. Always want to have them, especially if you're going into the sewer. Ghostbusters 2 reference right there. So, I was just making sure. I heard something before. I was making sure it wasn't my Proton Pack yet. Whoa, hey, ooh. There we go. Hey, Copernicus. Okay, I think this is the route that we need to go. Zip tie the bottom here, where it is here, and it's not going to move too much. Okay. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so I have that there. Now, the tricky part. I have to keep some for the tubes, so I'm just going to keep these on with just 2 of them. Okay. Because if I just go in here. There's a little metal piece here. Let me do a little stress test here. And these are bolted in. They should be okay. This leans forward. Actually, I'm getting pretty. I think this is going pretty well. Let's just do the other one now, which has to be a little lower. Do I want to double this up? I probably do. Just a little bit, because I have to still cut through the other one. Okay, so we're going to do this. This here. And this over here. And I want this to be kind of even. So let's move that over there. Okay. I think we are getting there. We definitely are getting there. Booyah! Alright, let's see what we got going on here. You can see I zip tied up here to here. And now here is where the real tricky part is going to come in. This looks kind of even. Let's see, what's on the side. Not bad, Popper. Nice. Alright, so now what I want to do is take one zip tie, and I want to take these two, and kind of bring this together. That way it holds onto it a little bit better. And I'll just tie that in, and should, if I move this a little bit out of the way there, that thing won't be sticking me in my back. Alright, so I'm satisfied with how this is holding on right now. I'll have that have a little weight there. That'll be some. Actually, that'll probably help support not have this metal bar in my back right there. What I'll do first is I want to shave this off a little bit so it gets a little. We'll use our knife. Remember, kids, if you're using a knife, be careful with it. Just want to even this out a little bit, make it a little flush. Not too much off. Because remember, Egon was making this with limited supplies, and so I probably could be using this probably is better right now. I have a box cutter right there, but I don't think that'll do the trick. What would have been best is if I had a bandsaw, just through it, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Alright, so what I want to do is have this on here. What I'm going to have to do is make some cuts in here. Ugh, wish I bought the thinner foam now. Okay, so I need cuts here and here. Let me redo that with my knife open because it makes that a little bit better. Okay, so we want to make a cut. We have this here. We want to cut here. Just a little space, not much. We just want enough for it to go through. And here. Okay, there and there. Done and done. So let's bring this over. It has a slit down the middle that we're just throwing this into. Okay, this I don't think is going to fully fit around as I originally intended it to. I probably should have got the smaller ones, but this is pretty close to what they use in the movie with it. So, how are we going to solve this problem? I'm going to tell you how we're going to solve it. With the zip ties. What we're going to do is, okay, we're just going to zip tie this on together. Okay. And we want to have the rough part towards the back though. We're just going to zip this like that. That's one. And the other one, I'm just going to zip here. Show you what I'm doing. Get the zip tie. So we work from there. Do this here. And put one more, two more on. That way it looks a little better. Do that here. Push this towards the back. I want to put one here and one on the other side, or one in the middle right here, just to even it out. And we're going through 19 zip ties. But you know what? In the end, it's going to all be worth it. I hope. Okay. All right, let's try this out. Easy. Easy, easy. Okay. Oh, look at this. And it's got the neck. I think this is pretty good. It's got to clip off some of the things and tighten up these backpack things here. But I think pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say. It feels nice. Nothing's poking me in the back. Let me tighten these up a little bit. These are fancy ones. I'll tighten them up later. Put this on and I'd have my belt. I probably wouldn't even put this on with the Proton Pack because I'd be having my Ghostbuster belt here. And, yeah, not too shabby. Actually, the way that it's looking with my shirt color that I have on, it's kind of reminded me of Egon from the animated series. Not too bad. Oh, that's a happy coincidence. Happy incidents. Alright. There we go. And I'll clip those things. I'm just looking at myself in the monitor. You know, this... Not bad. Not bad at all. And what I would do... Lift this up. Pull that out. Then flip it on the side here. Do this. It'll just take a little bit of getting used to. I might cut down some of this part here because I'm not really being able to see the hook because of that. And there's a little bit of excess, but that's alright. And let's use the wire cutters here to just pull these out a little bit more. Make it nice and tight, tight like a tiger. Actually, more it's to pull and I push down with here. Actually, I just found some clamps that I'm going to use and pull. There we go. And I'll use the wire cutter to push down on this while I pull up with the clamps. Alright, ready? Good. Good there. Good there. Alright. Almost there. There we go. Good there. And last but not least, here. When it comes to getting to the battery pack here, I'm going to just snip these and just keep a whole bunch on supply. But as I said before, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to change the battery, so it's really not a big deal. And this leans forward, and yeah, it's going to be on the ground, but I do believe they sell a bumper that goes here. Or I can even get some EBA foam, like the modeling foam that they use. Just craft foam, that's what it's called. Just to prevent it from scuffing up. I might do that. I could probably even get like the 3M, the command hook things. They have some bumpers. That maybe the clear bumpers I could put on there too, that might help. But I think the EVA foam might work best, so I'll see if I can get some of that. Just put it on there. Crazy, probably have to cement it on, rubber cement, but I'll do that after the painting. So, and if it gets a little scuffed up, you know, it's been out busting ghosts. That's all that matters. So let's try this on one more time. And I can get to it to turn it on. So that's a good, important part. Okay. Nice. Very nice. All right, so today I showed you how to put on the V-hook that I got from the Les Paul PS2 on eBay, part of the KLS Ghostbusters. Let's see if you can see it here. I will put the information below. They have a very nice card that they included. What's poppin', poppers? Throwing this in before I end the last episode. I want to thank you for sticking around and through that Proton Pack thing. I know it was a little bit different, but you know what? I had fun. Hopefully I taught you something and it became a little bit informative. And that way that if you get your own Proton Pack and you want to make the adjustments, that now you know what to do, you just go to the Popper's Pit because we help each other out. Now, I'm going to throw in an unboxing. I received today in the mail the New York Comic Con 2019 exclusive of Dwight from The Office. And I was going to set up in my other seat, but putting together the Proton Pack took a lot out of me, so I'm just going to open it up here, and let's see what we got. Alright, we got this overhead view now. Alright, and kids, always be careful of the knife, and the same thing goes for you adults. I'd also like to give a little bit of a shout out to Mike, my UPS guy. Ended up giving him one of my cards, and ends up his nephews are fans of Funko Pop. So, if you're watching, thanks for watching. Alright. Now we have the packaging. And this one on it says The Office for sure. I don't know if you remember the last time. I didn't know what it was. This for sure has The Office written on it. And it says pumpkin once again, which is making me think that it is the code name for the Comic-Con, and saying do not put on the shelves until before October 4th. And also, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I found something very interesting. Right here, this is the case that came with the Iron Man Endgame New York Comic Con Special Edition. And this is the one that came with Dwight. And I don't know if you can see this here. It says one per case, which means that maybe it took a while because there weren't so many of these Dwights. So I'm very lucky that I was able to get this. So let's go to the opening. Oh, all right. So far, so good. Just checking to make sure there's no imperfections. Nice. Very nice. Here, we got Dwight here. Dwight Schrute. He is holding a bobblehead of himself because for people that are fans of The Office, they know that Dwight has a bobblehead of himself on his desk. And he also has like his yes pose that he does every now and then. He's got his cell phone / beeper over there. Now, this is that detail that I love. It's a bobblehead of him, but it's also it's a Funko bobblehead. It's great. This was worth it. And what was better is I used Amazon points, so I got it for free. Go me. And I'd like to point out that I have all of the Office characters now that are on the back here. I also have the Andy. That was the Target exclusive. I'm still looking for Golden Face because even though that the Target closest to me says that they have it in stock, it's been since September 1st that I have not seen it. So, and I even asked one of the people if they can look in the back, and they weren't able to find it. So, this is it's going to be a chase. And you know what? sometimes I do like the thrill of the hunt, so that's fine. So, alright, so I'm gonna go back to my usual ending. November 9th, WUWWrestling is live at Gleason's Gym. We'll put below, we have the Pals of the Pit. Especially a big shout out to S&D Podcast and the Empty Arena Podcast, because I know all of the hosts there are also Ghostbuster fans, so this one goes out to you. We have Art by Alley, Bulletproof Comics, if you want to get those IDW Ghostbuster books, if you want to check those out. They also have Ghostbuster Pops there from the movies, the 35th anniversary and probably the 30th anniversary. They have a big backlog of them there. And I think that's about StephenKeslowitz.com. He has his book about Black Mirror coming out. He's got books about The Simpsons. He's got books about everything. So check him out. And let's end this on a... Thanks for popping by. Make sure to please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as well as pressing that bell icon. That way you can be alerted the next time the Poppers Pit has a new video. Also, check out my other videos. Leave a comment. Check out the description, which has a couple of links to the Pals of the Pit. Alright, can't wait to see you next time.
Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when you pop on by to the Poppers Pit.